Homer Stadium on a gorgeous day in Louisville as the Cardinals take on number 7 Florida State. Florida State trying to come up with the series sweep. Michaela Edenfield and the rest of the Seminoles with the legendary Lonnie Alameda on a roll. Holly April's team, a lot of youth on this club trying to get things started and steal one here at home. Just 2 more weekends left in the regular season and has been fighting through that. 2-2 pitch to Torres. On the ground, Alexander. Nice throw over to get the first out. Take a look at the Louisville defense.
Her up on that one.
Stacy Newton over at first. Heath Walker behind the plate, and there's the strikeout for Harp.
So keen and so aware on that strike zone. She knows what to let go.
Sends that into the gap. In right center, Edenfield will have a stand-up double with 2 away in the first.
Florida State is typically known for their double production. That's Edenfield's 13th double.
Ninth pitch of the at-bat into the glove of the shortstop Monroe, who nips Beecham. Edenfield stranded. Japanese, who we will see third, and Bree has the only home run hidden in this series for either team. Goes upstairs to get the strikeout. Good start for Reed.
And Lotus is such an important part.
Skied into short right field, and boy, Katie Dack had all the trouble in the world. We talked about the sun being a problem, and it was, as Lorenz is held up at third. Small ball, stolen bases, triples, and sac bunts are their fortes, and they're trying to get the squeeze down, and it works. Beecham took a chance, but Edenfield couldn't get the tag down. Lorenz scores the first run of the game.
Youth shown through.
Yeah, she said she was really disappointed in that effort. Hit on the nose, but right at Harp for the second out.
That
big swing taking off. Terrific throw by Edenfield to get Despines. Caught stealing in Berkeley. Katie Dack starting things off. That's going to plunk in front of Lorenz in left field. The leadoff single for Dack.
That just shows how strong Dack is. She got jammed up on that, but strong enough to punch it out to the grass. Innings, and Lonnie Alameda started that approach back in 2019.
Glove by Zabala and called safe, both runners. Zabala tried to get the lead.
Your shortstop's covering third base.
Waykazer sends it over to the right side. There's the tag and the double play. Nicely done by Lotus over there.
And that's just not
Zabala. Sends it into left field, a diving catch! What a play by the freshman, the redshirt freshman, Char Lorenz to save. Florida State going for the sweep. Louisville first pitch swinging, but you hit it to the wrong person. Pickens out with 1 pitch as she hit it to Kennedy Harp.
When you can tell that tonight Louisville is more aggressive at the plate. They've had a ton of defensive
this season. Hartley, who's playing second base and not hitting today, flicks it over to Bueno for the out.
Both corners for Louisville.
Down 0-2. A very efficient inning for McKenna Reed as she sets Louisville down in order.
2 strikeouts on the afternoon for McKenna Reed.
For that one, Jen, and there you see it's been a Florida State sandwich the last 4 years. For champions, and Ashton Danley pinch hitting for McKenna Reed, the starting pitcher, thrown out. That was a can.
3 pitches, and then just needed help in the circle, so they had to throw 3 additional arms that day.
On the ground, handled nicely by Grant for the second out.
State hitters honest.
Took a little bit off that. Alexander sits down so Monroe can handle it, but Harp's too fast.
The only way to get Harp on that one
Edenfield sends it right into the glove of Lotus. Just one pitch to get her and Strand Harp. Florida State has stranded a runner in each of the first 3 innings. Head coach Holly April looking for her first hit of the weekend. And she gets it. Makes the wide turn, but it's cut off by Dak to hold her to a leadoff single.
They run with a ton of velocity on the bases.
Beecham and Bueno playing in at the corners. Beecham picks it up and just in time to nip Mack at first as Monroe gets down. 1-2 with Monroe over at second. And that'll get her over to third. Torres with the throw over for the second out.
She realized she wasn't going to have that powerhouse pitcher that she could just ride year in and year out. And now she's embraced that. And the pitchers for Florida State know that they will be in an entire staff with another coach who was battling leukemia. And so she said, I shaved my hair back then. She said, it's not a big deal. It's just hair. It'll grow back. But she's embraced this moment with
Pickens on the run, and that's an outstanding play. Fighting the sun still to retire Dak.
It's the right-handed hitters, so Pickens has been very strong out there in right.
McKenzie sends the first pitch to Alexander, and for the first time today, Zabala gets it done, sets him down in order.
Inning, so important as they hold on tight to it.
Danley couldn't get it, charging. Hartley also couldn't get it. So Despines leads off the fourth by getting on base.
Well, just a little squib.
Charged an error to the second baseman. And now the bunt, that's what they're known for. Great play by Hartley, who just got the error to grab that throw from Beecham that sent her over into foul territory. That's Weidra, number 66.
And Francic over on the far side.
And Jazzy Francic, the true freshman, the reigning ACC Pitcher of the Week. And that's a big strikeout for the second out for Danley. Xander now, who grounded out in her first at bat today. And she's going to do it. No, another error for Florida State. And the runner is safe. Wow, Bueno had a gift-wrapped third out of the inning, and she booted it.
Louisville loves to be fast on the bases, and with 2 outs, they could push the envelope a little bit. So with the bobble at first and then the bobble at home, Louisville able to put another run on the board. The reason that kind of stuff happens as a fielder is when you take your eye off the ball before you secure it. And with what looked to be a pretty typical ground ball, took her eye off a little early, can't recover.
So an unearned run on the 2 errors by the Florida State infield. Now Danley ends it with a couple of miscues, leads to the second order in the 4th inning for the first time in this game, and gets DeLong swinging. Always football season on the ACC network, and this Tuesday through Friday.
You need in the circle by the junior.
2-2 to Bueno. Zabala calmly flips it over. She's retired 6 straight now. Nice backhanded play by Maddie Grant. Back-to-back 1, 2, 3 innings for Zabala. Game of the 3-game series last year against Florida State. Chopped Beecham. Nice play by the third baseman to start things off here in the 5th.
Series I circled at the beginning of the year knowing that was going to be a big one in the ACC standings.
Mack swings at the first pitch, and it's handled over at short by Torres, so a couple of quick outs for Danley.
And that series next weekend will actually regather themselves and put together a solid season.
Lotus goes down swinging. It was Valerie Cagle, of course, of whom we were speaking, who was so tremendous for Clemson. Great for the evening. Torres smacks it. What a play at third. Allie victory to retire Torres.
Solid performance in the circle, great defense behind her, and good at bats to be able to plate runs. And look at that, hot shot down the line. Allie Alexander says, not on my watch.
Now there's a chance that
You'd want to keep Torres off the base pass. She is the most consistent hitter in the lineup.
Harp goes after the first pitch, playable for Pickens. 2 big outs to start the 6th. Head coach going through that right now. Some cancer treatments. Oh, and an excuse me swing. Lotus charges in, and a scary screamer of a line drive grabbed by.
She's got a tough job back there to be able to rein in this change of speed that Danley throws too.
So steady for them, and Danley, after falling behind 3-1, gets the strike.
But then came back at the championship, and it was impressive to watch the way that finger stuck up, but she was gritty through those moments.
Big time gamer, and back-to-back strikeouts now for their pen. Beecham cuts it off, and it's off the glove of Bueno. He's had a tough day over there at first.
And typically, Florida State is known for their solid defense.
1-2. Pickens lifts it in the air, and they were shaded the other way in the outfield. Oh my goodness. Dak had to go a long way to make the catch, but she collided today.
But look at how far the center fielder Harp is shaded to the left. Yeah, and it wasn't the center fielder Harp that goes down. It's the right fielder.
Yeah, Dak made the catch, and Harp slid.
I mean, she leads the team in RBI, has the most stolen bases on the team. So that speed is important as they head into the last. Even facing these hitters now the 3rd time.
That gets into the glove. Another diving play by Lorenz. That's the 2nd time she has robbed the Seminoles of a hit. This is a team that scores a ton of runs. Top scoring team in the ACC. Dak flies out in foul territory to Lotus.
Unable to find a way to get a run.
Zabala has 3 complete games this year. That is unreachable for Lorenz. 2-out base hit for McKenzie. That is the first hit for Florida State since the 3rd inning. Right into the glove of Alexander to end the game. An absolutely brilliant performance. Zabala in the circle, and the Louisville defense was spectacular.
Louisville showing up on all sides of the ball today. Zabala with an absolute gem in the circle, coming out. Not a ton of strikeouts, but allowed her defense to shine, and they stood up behind her here today. That is something that they've not been able to do consistently during the year. And then their bats coming through with just 2 runs to give a shutout loss to Florida State for just the 4th time this year.
So a complete game 4-hitter for Alyssa Zabala. We will be speaking to her when we